when we figure out what to do with these substances in terms of the law, I don't have a clear answer. I do think one of the lessons, if you think about the traditional cultures who've used these substances or ones like it for thousands of years, look how they did it. They had many more centuries of experience than we've had, because these drugs have only been around really since the 50s, psychedelics. And they always have a ceremony. There's always an elder or a shaman or a healer or a curandera, somebody who knows the territory and is organizing the experience. Very seldom are the drugs ever taken alone. They're often, there's somebody there or a group there. And it has this cultural container. And that flows from the recognition that they're very powerful, very destabilizing substances that should not be used in a blithe or thoughtless manner. And the molecules arrived without that package in the West, right? Gordon Wasson goes to Mexico, tries psilocybin, writes this rave article about it in Time magazine. Timothy Leary tells everybody to turn on, tune in, drop out. No one took the trouble to devise a proper container. And it was all trial and error, throwing it up against the wall, seeing what worked. Do you take these drugs at a party? Do you take them alone? I mean, all the different ways they were used in the 60s, concerts, at the beach, whatever. The traditional container may not be right for Western civilization. We may not have ascribe the same authority to shamans as traditional people do. Our doctors are our shamans to some extent. But we need to devise a proper container. And in ayahuasca, we see people adopting the Amazonian container in its various permutations. But I think it's one of the most interesting cultural projects to work on right now, is to figure out what is that container. There's a medical container that's getting developed, for mental health treatment, and that's proving to be, very promising. But is that going to be the one for people who aren't sick? I don't know. But I have no doubt that you need a container, and simply legalizing these drugs, as we're doing in the United States with cannabis state by state, doesn't seem to me the right way. I mean, the virtue of legalizing something is you can regulate it, whereas if you have prohibition, anything goes, oddly enough.
Right. And LSD was legal, for a long period of time.
It was until 1970, or the last years of the 60s in some states. So all these issues need to be attended to. I mean, and I have a lot of respect for these molecules, and that involves not wanting to see them used in a careless way.